Welcome back. It is estimated that children will eat their way through a whopping 5 million chocolate Easter eggs over Easter, and this causes major concerns about the long-term impact this may have on one's health.
Joining us now is nutritionist Heather Leeson with advice on how to enjoy a treat over the holidays without overdoing it. Good morning, Heather. Great to have you in.
Good morning, Heather.
Now, we often have a bit of a giggle when you come in because it's like, oh, Heather, don't be giving us bad news. But that is frightening to anybody out there.
Yeah, I'm in good company, actually, because that was the Irish Heart Foundation statistics, and they're so worried about it because they're seeing children with high blood pressure and signs of heart disease. So, yeah, it's a concern.
Frightening. 5 million eggs. And what kind of eggs are we talking about? Are we talking about these little itty-bitty eggs here?
Well, I don't know what your kids would think. I mean, the average is that kids get 4 eggs. But when I did a straw poll behind the scenes, I think most kids are getting about 7 or 8.
Really?
And when you, just to put it in perspective, I mean, it's one day. So having an egg on Easter Sunday is no big deal. But when you put it in perspective, how much sugar should kids be eating? So we should be keeping it below 6 or ideally 3 teaspoons for kids.
So 3 teaspoons of sugar.
Added sugar per day.
Per day.
For a child. Then you think about what they're getting for Easter. So the mini eggs, which is this tiny size here, especially if they're filled, and most of these are filled, that'll be 6 teaspoons of
So
sugar.
double
6.
the daily
6.
allowance, really.
Yeah.
In one of those.
In one of those. Then you get to a small egg, which most children would not be happy with having. So how many teaspoons of sugar? This comes with one treat normally.
10.
No, with the treat, it's 23 teaspoons of sugar. That's what you're seeing
Look,
here.
nice.
So
23 teaspoons in a small
6
egg.
or 7 days worth of sugar.
And try prizing an egg out of a child's hands when they're thrilled with themselves on Easter Sunday.
Well, I suppose these are so cheap now as well. Like these are €1 to €2. You're getting loads of them because it's not just parents who give your children treats. It's neighbours, pals,
Uncles,
grandparents.
aunties.
And most kids
Yeah.
would not be happy with that.
Do you think
anyway.
that's what's changed since we were young? Because we would have gotten 1, maybe 2 eggs and that was it.
Yes, I think so. I think it was a
more
big
easily
deal to get an
obtainable, yeah.
Easter egg. And I think they're probably much more expensive then as well.
And as we go up the scale then,
The scale,
Heather,
so this is a medium
you're also
egg,
getting the
200
chocolate bar
grams.
inside the egg as
You're
well.
getting a couple with this. You get a couple typically. This is a
200
medium
grams.
egg, 200-gram egg, with the couple of treats. It's 40 teaspoons of sugar. So that's a couple of weeks' worth.
And you mentioned 3 teaspoons for children, but what should we have as adults?
For women, 6, men, 9. So you're still getting
Still way
up
off
there.
it.
So that is 40 teaspoons.
I'm afraid to ask the big boy at the end.
75 teaspoons of sugar with your few treats. So this
75,
actually comes with 5 treats, and that's 75 teaspoons of sugar. So for a child, that is 25 days of sugar, almost a month's worth
Sweet
of sugar.
And for adults, in terms of us working it off and getting rid of those calories, are we talking a week or
many
two
hours
before
in
we're
the
back to
gym.
normal?
Many hours in the gym. Yeah. Now, you know, of course it's Easter. I'm not going to say don't have it. I'll be having a little bit of chocolate myself, but something small, and it depends on how big your child is.
These
as
are all
well.
milk chocolate, though. What about dark chocolate alternatives or healthy? There's a lot of healthy options out there.
Yeah,
Should we
dark
be a bit dubious?
Well, they all have their pros and cons. So dark chocolate, of course, has less sugar, and it often is more satisfying. You eat less of it in theory anyway, but it's got quite a high stimulant content, so caffeine content. You wouldn't be giving it to a small child necessarily. They may never go to sleep if they weren't already on a sugar rush. White chocolate, very high in sugar because basically it's just fat and sugar. And then some of the kind of the sugar-free ones, they will have sugar substitutes in it. You have to have something in there to make it taste nice and sweet. That's what we love.
You brought in some alternatives because what you're suggesting as well is, look, don't automatically just go and buy an egg.
Yeah.
There are other things out there, a gift, and you brought in a couple of things for
There
Santa.
are. Someone's going to give your children eggs. So if you can yourself avoid giving them an egg, give them something else. And I mean, it's Easter holidays. Ideally, something that's going to kill a few hours over the holidays.
Absolutely,
If you,
yeah.
like Jessica was talking about earlier, you know, the crafting is really handy. So that's a little thing. What I did was I gave the kids €3 in Tiger or Pound Shop, whatever it was, to go and find
Off
something
you
that was
go.
non-food
That's
related.
clever.
And that was good fun
And
anyway.
you know what, Heather? If your children are getting so many eggs, this would be a welcome break to get a little
Just
arts and crafts.
something different. I love the seeds.
I like this idea.
Someone gave my kids last year a packet of seeds and a little trowel, which was really nice because then you
That's very
go
cute.
and you spend a few minutes, and then there was a big competition who grew the tallest flower. It was a bit of fun for a couple of months.
And they're not just sitting there mindlessly munching.
Exactly, and I love these. So these are like the
Very
Calippo holders. You get
yeah.
just a couple of quid in one of those shops, you know, the Euro shops. Make a smoothie, stick it in the freezer, and 2 hours later you have an ice pop. So the kids are having fruit as well.
That's
It's
very
really
clever.
handy.
Clever,
Yeah,
isn't it?
really
Yeah.
Nice pop
handy.
balls.
And because, you know, they're Calippo shaped, they're a really nice treat.
You do have some great tips about on the day. I think we were resigned to the fact, many parents out there, that your children will crave and want an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Now, there are many families that manage to get away with it, and kudos to you at home.
There are some families that don't give Easter eggs. It's not everybody. So, you know, this is for the people who
But
do.
Siobhan was saying earlier on, our
Yeah, they
consumer
don't.
expert, she doesn't have chocolate on Easter Sunday, doesn't particularly
Doesn't do
like
it.
chocolate, and
Yeah.
doesn't want to
Well,
eat eggs. So
Yeah, it's hard to get away from it. Though.
It is.
So,
It is, yeah.
But you do have some great tips. Start the day with breakfast. I think this is a clever one. I'm
and I
gonna
think
do
you were
this.
talking about this earlier. Don't give an Easter egg for breakfast because you're starting the day off on the wrong footing. Get some food in first, and hopefully then, if your children have eaten something, they won't be so hungry and able to
Exactly,
savage so much chocolate. And then get them to pick one egg. Ideally not the stuff that goes in it as well. Just the egg, the shell on its own is enough for them to say, pick one for today and we'll put the rest away and we'll have it over the next weeks or months. In my head, it would be months, and I'd get it stashed
Something
out of
that
sight.
we would do is, in terms of, is say, look, just eat one.
Yeah.
But we'll use the other ones maybe next weekend, and we can make muffins out of them.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah,
break
cook
the
them,
egg,
bake
break
them.
the eggs down.
Exactly.
Because I find if you line the eggs up in front, they actually go. It's a lot of eggs, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll just eat that one, then we'll use these for whatever.
Exactly.
cookies
There's
or-
loads of ideas. Even say melt it in a couple of weeks' time, stick some strawberries or something in it. You know, make
There
it
you
kind of
go,
a fruit
yeah,
fondue is
yeah.
really handy, and it's a nice way of doing it. Get them out of sight though, because if
That's a
if
big
you
one.
see them and the children see them, they're going to be gone in a week
And you
or
can
so.
pull the wool over smaller children's eyes,
Yeah.
not so much with the older kids and the
Exactly.
teenagers, but I certainly know from my little ones, they forget what they've
Yes,
been given. So we just
exactly.
quietly put them away, and as Simon says,
And this is not going
bake
to go
with
off.
them or-
But
There's
as you,
plenty of
as you
sugar in
always
this to
say,
preserve it.
Heather, you're not being the Grinch, it's just moderation. Just
exactly.
keep an eye on it.
Take it easy.
well, it's so
Yeah,
important. After
take it
those
easy.
frightening stats,
Thank you,
absolutely.
and a happy Easter to you.
Thanks,
Same to
Heather.
you.
Can we keep these?
You can. Simon wants this one.
Still to go this morning, we're hitting the hard stuff when we taste some specialist whiskies.
Very indulgent morning here. There's last minute advice on what to wear for your weekend away next as well. Stay with
Whiskey and
us.
chocolate.